What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. This is another post from Matias de Stefano's yosoy.red. This one's called The Ancestors, and it's a dialogue between his higher self and him. So I'd be referring to Matias as me and to his higher self as I am. Me. The other day, in one of the messages inside the pyramid, they told me, what you do is not done for yourself or your peers, but for your descendants, those who will come in the future. And sometimes this vision is just something very poetic, but not practical. In other words, starting with the fact that everything we do for our own good. If you ask most people why they do what they do, they usually answer, to live well or to be happy. Everything is based on oneself, on feeling good, free, harmonious, happy, at peace. But there are very few who do everything for those who will come. So how do you educate yourself on the concept that none of us will see the fruit of our action? I know you don't understand much about cars, but tell me, does the steering wheel see the wheels? Me, I eat? You messed me up. I think I eat is mistranslated, and it's supposed to be how come, but it's translated from Spanish to English, so sometimes there are typos. Back to the dialogue. When you get into a car, tell me everything you do. Describe it. Me. Well, first I sit down, I put on my seatbelt, I look in the rear view mirror, I adjust the side mirrors, I start the car, and depending on whether it is mechanical or automatic, I press the corresponding pedals, changing gears to first or reverse, moving the steering wheel so that the wheels turn and go in the direction I'm looking to go by pressing the accelerator. In other words, all those parts, so unique, separated from each other, which are never seen, all work for the same purpose. Well, it is rare that a wheel manages to be in the presence of the steering wheel or the rear view mirror, or that the pedal knows that it's the gear lever for which it's working. In order to run the engine, which takes power from a fuel or electricity that is in the back, hidden in a deposit. A normal car has up to 90,000 parts, all with one goal, to generate mobility. It is not necessary for them to know each other, to know what the other is doing. Altogether, each one in its own function, they make the car move forward to take you to a goal. Some parts of the car are essential or older, and others are later adhesions, new accessories that improve the common performance. Me, I think I understand now where you're going. I'm glad. I'm glad. Now then, imagine that the car is actually your family tree. You have a mother and a father, and they both had a mother and a father. So you have 4 grandparents. But these, in turn, have a mom and a dad. That is, you have 8 great grandparents, but they have theirs. So you have 16 great great grandparents. Continue with this simple multiplication, and you will have noticed that for the colonization of America in 1492, there were at some 90,000 people scattered around the world who are your ancestors. Only 528 years ago. Of course, the calculation is not perfect, since many of your ancestors were not from different families, but brothers and cousins to each other. But let yourself imagine 90,000 human pieces, just so you can be who you are today. Think about it. Me, yes, I don't know how to take it. If as an honor, a burden, or a responsibility. I am, well, let's say you are the car. The 90,000 people in your history have lived their lives with their own wishes, desires, conflicts, intentions, objectives, emotions. That is to say that they are unique, and all of this was embodied in their cells as an experience, as a mechanism. When you have an objective and you repeat an act with intention day after day, this is mechanized and it is registered in the cells, remaining as a neutralized act. It is itself a summary or agreement of intentions at the cellular level that you call heritage. That information is transmitted at the time of sex, unified with the mechanized intention of the other person. Both cells, when joined, make up a new goal and purpose. It is like saying, assemble a wheel and the steering wheel, so now the steering wheel can direct the direction and the wheel can move to it. They both need each other. When the two come together, they generate a new purpose, a son or a daughter, who will now know how to use the steering wheel and the wheel. Thus, with each generation, accessories are added to this car that is being assembled by the biological factory. Me, it's like in reality, everyone's alive. I am, well, the question would be, what is a person? I eat, me, I eat. Again, I think this is meant to mean, how come? If you're Spanish speaking, please drop it in the comments. Is it the same? Does I eat mean I understand, or how come? Anyway, I am sure. What defines what a person is? For example, what defines you? Me. Well, my humor defines me, my purpose, my way of communicating, my way of being with my friends. I don't know. It's difficult to describe oneself. I am. It is, yes. Because we usually describe the person for what we are in relation to others, not to oneself. Person comes from the Greek word. Let's just say it's probably prosopon, which means mask. That is placed in front of the face. In addition, it reminds us of a Latin sensation, personal, that is to say, to sound. which is what masks were used for in the theater, a sad, a happy, and an angry one, visually helped not only to see the emotion of the actor and actress from afar, but also to make their voices echo and sound louder, to be heard perfectly from the last tier. For this reason, when we speak of personalities, we can only refer to aspects of external perception. Me, and how should I define myself? I am for what you seek beyond the people around you. And it is usually the same common factor in all. I am for what you seek beyond the people around you. And it is usually the same common factor in all. To be happy, to be loved, to feel good. In a way, they are emotions and intentions towards oneself that do not influence others. In other words, what sums up a person are perceptions, intentions, and emotions. The rest is a cluster of cells and molecules. When the body dies, the energy that is cells and molecules contained, that is, its emotions and intentions, are transferred to the next living body, the children. Me. What you say is that in reality, a part of those people lives in us, never died. I am, in the same way that you will never die, only your body will disintegrate, but your intentions and emotions will live within your descendants. As more generations pass, that intention and emotion will be fractalized with that of the others who come together, and some will dissolve into a dream of the subconscious, but there it will continue inside every living person. Me. So the car that I am now contains the information of everyone I was. I am. It is easy to see what we inherited from the last 4 generations, even our great-great-grandparents, because it is likely that if you haven't met the latter, some story of them will come to you from your great-grandparents. Sometimes we do not even have the information of our own parents, being orphans, but they live in you, in every emotion, intention, purpose, and conflict that you possess. Thus, your future generations will only come to improve the car, to perfect it, to add accessories. Spirits are those engineers who seek to perfect. Normally, some parts are damaged, rust, stop working, and create a problem in the car. Most people keep walking, unaware of what's happening to them. Perhaps a little rust or a lack of oil can destroy the engine and ruin all the machinery. So, me. In the human case, it would be like going to a therapist or a biodecoder when we have a physical problem, who tells us the problem is not your niece, it's your grandparents, and you begin to heal the bond with them and things there that were not released. I am, when a part of the car rusts, the car stops. I am, when a part of the car rusts, the car stops, and it stops working. Normally, it will need special care, water, oil, for the gear to move again. You call it sick, which comes from the Latin infermare, that is to say, stop. If the function of the car is to move and move forward, stopping will prevent you from reaching your destination. The cause of all disease is a peace that is not cared for, not attended, a peace that needs attention, affection, to be heard, observed. For the desires, longings, conflicts, emotions, intentions, and purposes of your ancestors create your destiny today. Me. Therefore, to believe that what happens to me is only mine and that what happened to the ancestors is their problem is totally wrong. Even the fact that when they appear in my life, I try to heal it, to eliminate it, to leave it behind, is like saying, the steering wheel is rusty, so I will clean it, take it out, and leave it in the next town. And then I'll continue alone. I am. It would be a fatal fate not to be able to turn the next corner, right? Me, I think so. So, what I have to understand is that we are all going in the same direction, or at least today I have the control of the car and I direct it to a destination for which everyone must collaborate, although some parts not ready to do it. I am. This is as if you have a story of high society nobles who have managed to build a convertible Mustang and you decide to take it to the top of a mountain by way of dirt and rock. Me. Well, actually, I did it once. I had rented a car in Hawaii during the Harwittam Trail, and the agent saw me young and in Hawaii and changed the one I ordered for a Mustang to go to the beach and party. And the first thing I did was climb the volcano, scratching the entire bottom and breaking the convertible roof because of the Kilauea wind. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. I am. Clearly, you have come to break the car of yours. That's why everyone asked you for a lot of attention, because your goal was so big. You were dragging them. You needed a spaceship, not a car. This is why so many obstacles came your way. Conflicts, betrayals, mistrust, loss of resources, modifications in your ways, because the different parts of your car were breaking, rusting, out of adjustment due to the intensity of your trips. Me. Wow, I understand. I am. When did everything start to go well in your life? Me. When we bought the house. I am. Tell me, what emotions were there? Emotions were there. Me. It all goes back to the fact that my grandfather, Hector, the youngest of the family, had acquired the house where my mother and I were born as a loan from his brothers. But we did not know that until he died, and his brothers claimed the house, wanting to kick us out of it. The De Stefano were very macho, and my brother was the only one who dealt with this issue. The other women in the family left her alone in front of all her uncles and cousins, fighting for the papers in the house, who discredited her for being a woman and denied her the papers, and even sold it to her for not being married. My mother reflected there the impotence of all the De Stefano women who were either despised or ended up abandoning them, always abandoning or losing a home in the next generation. I remember that that day of the discussion, a rabbit died to me. I guess another typo. And I cried all day, and now I know it was a reflection of what was happening. I felt guilty on behalf of all men, unable to release power. Drawing attention, I felt responsible for not being able to be the one to return the house. Because I felt the same as my grandfather, denying the obvious, abandoning my mother and the other woman for fear of older brothers. Then, the cello of family clan non-recognition appeared in my mother and in me. My grandfather denied us, and so did his brothers. But my father, who did not want to take responsibility at such young age, also denied us. I could see with time and perspective the non-recognition of the clan is something common in all humans, and surely it is because thinking about the multiplication of people in the past, if 1,000 years ago the world population was 100 million, and that the same number of people needed in about 26 generations for me to exist, so all humans are family, and we all have the same traumas. Our home, the one we lost, is Earth. The Father who denied it to us is religion. The patriarchal mandate that told us that the kingdom of heaven belongs to the poor, or that being one of the poor castes in this life is a blessing because in the next one you will be rich. All the loss of prestige and being part by casting him out of the clan if he is different, by having his own, by using inner power, by being recognized. We all have the same roots. It was not a matter only of my family. I am. And what did you do to break the car? Me. I made the world my home. And humanity my family. I am. And what was the result? Me. A disaster. I am. Why? Me. Because I wanted to take care of all the cars in the world when I couldn't even drive my own. I am. You understood that knowing how to drive doesn't make you own all the cars in the world, right? Me, yes, I can't change everything or innovate the world's cars. So we decided with my mother to heal my ancestors, unite the first unrecognized of our clan, my great-great-grandfather. We changed the surname to the original one from De Stefano to De Stefano, since the change of the surname had been precisely because of the hatred that my great-grandfather had for his own father. This is how we unite the past with our present. We honor the dead, trying to fulfill the things that had been pending in them. And on behalf of all of them, I put everything we had to buy a house before 2020, to start the yosoy path by fixing my tree. That also meant that some pieces were fired, and part of my family got separated in the process. I am. There are pieces that are not ready for change. Me, however, as soon as we set foot inside the house, everything started to work. And after years of denial from our Italian branch, the nationality documents arrived on my 33rd birthday here in Egypt. I am. The recognition of all the parts of your car, of your tree. Me, the same thing happened the day I looked for my father. I just wanted to find my brothers, but in turn, healed the other part of my tree. I told my mother that I felt like I was only walking on one leg and needed the other to move forward. When I sat in front of my father, he accepted that he was not willing to recognize me. But I told him that I was not seeking his recognition, but that I was seeking to recognize him. He didn't understand it, but over time and without looking for it, he recognized me. And one day, looking for the house we wanted to buy, we saw that it was his real estate agency that was selling it. So it was my father who made it easier for us to have a home, which we all celebrate together at the holidays starting in 2020. My paternal and maternal family together in the new house. The roads joined, my two knees firmed, and I could understand. De Stefano comes from the Greek, from Stefan, that is to say, de la Victoria and bride. My paternal surname comes from the Basque Camino, the path of victory, so I know that all the intentions of our ancestors live in us, that we are the summary, that healing the past is not letting go, it is integrating it, that our goals in life are the sum of the failures and intentions of our ancestors. I am the only thing that will give you freedom on the path of life. You cannot leave any peace outside of your being. You only have to attend them with love, recognize them, take care of them, and they will work for your destiny. Me, I am my ancestors, and only in this way, from this consciousness, I can build my present and my future, which is of the generations to come, of which I will be a fundamental piece. I am. Now you understand how to educate us to do what we do for generations that we will not see. Well, what you do fully in your here and now, each step you take, each step you climb, each destination you reach, each time you bow to defeat, each time you jump for joy, everything you did, do, and do will be imprinted in your knees, in your cells, in your mind, in your emotion, and it will live eternally through time of generations. Make your best version of yourself. Focus on being as happy as you seek, living well in balance, and what your person resonates will reach the last year of the theater of life. Me, I am my family. I am the tree. I am the destiny of all who live in me. I am, and I am the last destination.